Okay, so in this video I'm going to teach you about the Boolean operators. So what are the Boolean operators? Okay, so why do we use them? So we use the Boolean operators when we want to compare two values. For example, in an if statement, we can say if number 1 is greater than number 2, then execute the code. We can also say if number 1 is greater or equal to number 2. We can say if number 1 is less than number 2, if it's less than or equal to number 2, if it's equal to number 2, so if they have the same value, or if they are not equal, if they have different values. So here I have a challenge for you. This challenge is to create an if statement using every Boolean operator. So I want you to pause the video and try it out for yourself. Okay, so to do this challenge, let's go to the Visual Studio. I always say the Unity editor, but it's the Visual Studio. There are two different programs. So in the Visual Studio, we're going to actually create two variables. So int num1 equals 1, for example, and int num2 equals 10, for example. And now we're going to say if num1 is greater than num2, then we're going to print num1 is greater than num2, for example. So if this is true, if num1 is greater than num2, then num1 is greater than num2, but in this case it's going to be false, so this is not going to execute. Okay, so just for the sake of doing this, let's just comment this out, and inside and in here we'll specify that there's some code, and we just select everything, the if statement, hit Ctrl C, and then we'll go down and we'll hit Ctrl V to copy. So we'll copy it a couple of times, and now instead of saying greater, we can say greater or equal than. We can say less. We can say less or equal than. We can compare if both elements are equal to each other, or if they are not equal to each other. So for example, here instead of we could actually print something. We could say print, and here we could specify that num1 and num2 do not have the same value. So if num1 is not equal to num2, then this is going to print out to the console. And it happens to be that num1 is equal to 1 and num2 is equal to 10. So save. Let's go to the Unity editor and let's hit play. And now you should see that num1 and num2 do not have the same value. Has been printed out to the console. Okay, so right now we have another challenge. So we go back to our slides. We see that I have another challenge here for you. We have to create two variables. Int money equals 100 and int expenses equals 200, and you have to create an if else statement. So if money is greater than expenses, you have to print I am rich, and if money is less than or equal to expenses, you have to print I need more money. Save and play the game. Look at the console. Okay, so I want you to try this challenge. Pause the video and try it out. Okay, so to complete this challenge, it's simple. You have to go, let's go back to Visual Studio, and let's delete all of this, all of the code that we have written before. And now let's create the two variables. Let's create the variable money equals 100, right? And we also need to create another variable of type integer called expenses equal to 200. Then we have to check if money is greater than expenses. If this is true, then then we have to print I am rich. I am rich. And then we have to create an else statement. So else, open and close brackets. We have to print. So if I am rich does not execute, then we have to execute I need more money. Let me write that correctly. Okay. So basically what we're doing here is we're comparing money to expenses with a Boolean operator. In this case, the Boolean operator that we're using is a greater than. So if money is greater than expenses, we print I am rich. Else means that else, so if money is equal or less than expenses, because the only other two conditions that are possible is that money is equal or less than expenses, because here we're checking if money is greater than expenses. So else here it will default to anything else that is not this condition. So if money is equal to expenses or less than expenses, this will print out. I need more money. So save the script, go back to Unity, hit play, and we should see that I need more money gets printed out to the console. Why? Because money is equal to 100, expenses is equal to 200, so money is actually less than expenses. So I need more money will get printed out to the console because this expression evaluates to false. Okay, so I hope you understand it so far. I'll see you in the next video.